Now this is an oak tree, and a lot of the oak trees have rounded leaves rather than the usual lobed and pointed leaves. If I just grab a leaf from the floor, there's your usual oak leaf with these pointed lobes. But a lot of oak trees have this rounded leaf, and this particular oak tree is an evergreen as well, and there are a number of evergreen oak trees which are very, very interesting. This is semicarpifolia, and it's absolutely stunning if you could get it. It's a proper rare plant, this one. But the underside of the leaf has this fantastic brown bronzing. It really is spectacular from all angles. Now, like I say, this is a proper rare plant. This is something that you're not going to find, not even in a specialist nursery, and when you do find it, it's usually an expensive plant. But if I stand back even further, this is something that's probably about 20 feet tall now. I can't find the date on it. There is a label on it. There's no date when it was planted, but it's a super thing. Absolutely fabulous plant. Quercus semicarpifolia, an evergreen oak. Now another fantastic oak which I've often been in love with. This is one called Quercus glauca, and what is blue about it, the undersides have this grey touch to it. Real strong evergreen growing plant. This particular one is about 10 feet and is about 20 years old. Very slow growing plant, but the most spectacular glossy leaves on the outside, and then this lovely grey bloom on the undersides. Stunning plant, and again a real rarity. Very few lobes again on this one. If you saw it, you'd say it was a laurel tree, but it is clearly a fantastic oak. There are a lot of oak trees at the Lovell Arboretum, but I've been diverted onto these fir trees just for a moment. This is an Abies bracteata, and that's a small plant. Let me move across to this bigger one here. That's standing about 15 foot tall, and it has the most deadly sharp needles. You wouldn't want this as a Christmas tree. It's absolutely lethal on the ends here, and each of the small leaflets are thick, strong, and they are very, very sharp on the end. The underside has this beautiful silvering, and each of the terminal shoots has this long brown spike to it. Now in the garden it is a fantastic plant, again rare, and if you can actually get hold of it, it is one that's really worth growing and one of my favourites. It just doesn't resemble the usual Abies, which are soft, they have soft needles, but it is a spectacular strong evergreen plant. Very easy to grow when you can get it. Again, another one of my real favourites, this one. This is something you don't very often see. No, not the rosemary. The ribes that's next to it. This is an evergreen ribes. I've got this at home. These are not the best looking plants, so I wouldn't particularly choose these ones. Not bad price, £15 for one of these ribes. It's ribes laurifolium, and it has very thick leathery leaves and these wonderful flowers that appear early on in the season. Now I grow it on a small fence. That one's not too bad because at least it's got one straight shoot to it, but they really are poor plants. They look as if they've had the centre broken out of them, and they're all weeping over the side of the pot. But I said that with a bit of training, perhaps they would make a decent plant in the end. But worth looking out for if it's now appearing in the plant centres. This one is normally sold as a small shoot, about that sort of length, no more than 30 centimeters high. But to see an established plant in a pot, in a 3 litre, then that's a really good plant. But flowering for a long period of time, evergreen, great on a small trellis work, fabulous plant. Abies laurifolium.